Hey everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and I'd like to do a list of 5 more dungeon crawlers that you must play, based on the previous video that I made and the amazing recommendations that everyone gave me. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the response to the video and all of the kind souls who were offering games in that space that I'd never heard of or missed, and creating such a great artifact for the community so that people who want to play a dungeon crawler can come learn about games that they might have fun with and enjoy, just like I have. So in the first list that we did, I named Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, the remaster, Wizardry 8, Vaporum, Legend of Grimrock 1 and 2, Etrian Odyssey, Operencia, and then, as a bonus, Legends of Amberland 2. So those games are all on the first video if you want to check that out, and I'm going to link it in the description below. And what I want to do here is name 5 games that were recommended that I actually played. I'm going to link all of those videos so you can get more gameplay of it if you want to see if it's a game that you might want to purchase and enjoy. And let's start off with The Fall of the Dungeon Guardians. So this game I'd never heard of, and I've been playing it a ton. I love it. It is basically Legends of Grimrock, which is, Eye of the Beholder modern version, and it's married with World of Warcraft or an MMO. And let me explain what I mean by that. So it's a dungeon crawler on a grid, but it is real time, so the enemies can move and you can move and kite them and move around, whereas many dungeon crawlers are just strictly turn-based. And the World of Warcraft element is that you have the holy trinity of party members. You have a tank, healers, and DPS, and your tanks can taunt and protect the group. Your healers can cast regeneration, cast healing, and your DPS, of course, are nuking. But within that, there is a threat meter, just like in an MMO, where the enemy AI is determining who is the most threatening and attacking that person. So you have to manage the threat, you have to manage healing, and manage doing DPS. And unlike a strictly turn-based game, it got this real-time element where you queue up abilities with able to queue 3 in advance, and then when they aren't using abilities, your characters are auto-attacking. Now, that might sound foreboding if you want a turn-based game, but guess what? I prefer turn-based games, and I still play this because it has a tactical pause. So you can push spacebar and pause at any time, assess what's going on, see who's attacking who, change things around, clear your queue, redesign the queue. You can even use potions and consumables independent of the queue. So it's just got this great mix of gameplay. It looks great, there's secrets, and I am having an absolute blast with The Fall of the Dungeon Guardians. And I want to say thank you for those of you that recommended it, because it was not on my radar, and I hope that if you're looking for a good crawler to play, you might want to check that one out as well. Another game that was recommended to me that I had on my radar for a while but never pulled the trigger on because the price tag was so high was Undernauts Labyrinth of Yomi. So this is a great representation of how Japan and Japanese culture have really embraced the old school dungeon crawlers and then iterated it on them immensely. You see that, of course, with Etrian Odyssey, which I recommended in the last list, and there are more JRPG or Japanese dungeon crawlers out there that I need to play. This is the only one I've played so far, and it's fantastic. I, got over the hurdle of the high price. I was able to get it on sale, and it is everything that you want in a classic dungeon crawler, but with so many quality of life features that I can't believe it. It does have an anime sensibility to it, so if that's not your bag, I totally get it, but I feel like it's got this kind of like Persona core to some of its presentation elements, but also even a little bit of the nonary games with this really creepy puzzle and situation that you get into and this mystery that's surrounding what's going on with Yomi. And there are all of these ways that the developers have decided to change how dungeon crawling plays. So, for example, I came from Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, and then the remaster has some nice quality of life stuff, but boy, this has a map that fills in automatically, auto travel, a device that you can use to augment your combat strategy, and it just is so fantastic with the way that it handles traps and chests, where you don't have to have a thief class. It's easier to open chests if you haven't used as many MP, and you can get back to your base using auto travel and then heal everybody up for free, and then even bring back people who've been knocked unconscious. And even once you get to a certain point, if you get wiped out, you just start back at the base. And it just makes the game so smooth and easy to play. Now, it's not easy in terms of the combat. It's actually quite hard. You have to grind up, just like in old school crawlers, but they even give you flowers that you can use and plant in the game to make the grinding itself less painful. So you get all the fun of a crawler, but it's in a tighter, more streamlined, more contemporary package. So I really, really think Undernauts Labyrinth of Yomi is terrific. It's fun on Steam Deck. I think it's on all consoles as well. It seems like it'd be great on Switch. Another one that I want to recommend here is actually one that was not listed in the comments of the first video, but somebody mentioned it to me on stream, and it's called DeAnima. This is a solo dev game, and it is like a blend of a roguelike with a dungeon crawler, in that it's random, it's procedural, it's brutal, you die. There is a bit of character unlocking that you can get into, but I was just really impressed with DeAnima, and I want to recommend it because I do like to list games that maybe you've never heard of, so that they can get attention and you might find something fun to do. It's very affordable. I was just playing the demo, but I think I'm going to get the full release and check out more of that as well. It's got a really creepy art style to some of the enemies, but be careful. I gotta tell you, I walked around, I saw scary stuff, I started attacking, and then it killed me. And I was like, what happened? Why was that so hard? Oh my goodness. That was not a monster. That was actually an NPC. That was a in-floor shopkeeper that I, judged a book by its cover and attacked. And I realized, no, that's a friendly character that I've just attacked, and that was a huge mistake. So it's got great elements like that. There's different classes, there's a cool loot system, and the game keeps getting changed and iterated, so I really think it's a very promising start. Next is a game from one of my favorite RPG franchises of all time, which is Might and Magic. And Might and Magic 3 is the one I grew up on, and this is Might and Magic 10 Legacy. I believe it's the last in the line of Might and Magics, and I think there was like 10 years between Might and Magic 9 and 10. And I do intend to play 6, 7, 8, 9 at some point, but this was recommended, and then I wishlisted it based on your recommendation, and now it's on sale, I think still on Steam, for like $6 or something insane. And so I picked it up, and I think you even get Might and Magic 6 for free with it. And all of the previous concerns about the CD key and like Ubisoft's DRM stuff have been eradicated, at least for me, on Steam. I bought it and it runs beautifully. I entered the key one time and it was gold. And this game has also really impressed me by letting me take a walk down memory lane, but playing Might and Magic with modern sensibility. And even though it is an older game at this point, it still looks really good, has a fun, interesting combat system, in the sense that there are not infinite enemies, so you really have to, you can't just grind forever, you have to make use of what enemies are there. There's lots of secrets, there's really cool loot and leveling, and you can get these companions which give you passive boosts, you're doing quests, and I am having a blast with Might and Magic 10, and I really recommend it, especially on sale. And then I would be remiss if I did not mention Eye of the Beholder. Now, this is a game that I actually never played classically, and everybody kept saying this was a progenitor of the, the archetype, and so I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. And I am playing it through the Gold Box classic games on Steam, which, by the way, the Gold Box stuff is amazing. You get like this bundle of Gold Box D&D games that have some built-in under-the-hood stuff to help it work on DOSBox on Steam, as well as the manuals and everything you need to just be able to play it. And what I love about Eye of the Beholder, the version you get with the Gold Box, is it has a map mod built in, as well as enemy information built in. So it's like you're playing in a windowed mode of DOSBox, and then off to the right you have a map that fills in and saves, and then on the top you get some information about the enemy, the armor class, the hit points it's set, that just make it smoother and easier to play, which I really, really appreciate. And it's funny because I never played Eye of the Beholder before, and now I see where Grimrock gets, so much of its core and how much of a love letter to Eye of the Beholder Legend of Grimrock is, because Grimrock is a real-time crawler, like Follow the Dungeon Guardians that we were talking about, and Eye of the Beholder is too, but it doesn't have that cool tactical pause like Follow the Dungeon Guardians, so you gotta really be on it. And it's also incredibly puzzle intensive. Like, there's secrets and there's switches and sequencing and things that you have to figure out to even make progress. So it is a great game to kind of go back and see what a, for Realms crawler is all, so that you can have some fun with one of the, kind of granddaddies of dungeon crawlers. Now, as an honorable mention, I'd like to throw in Secret of Weepstone, which is just a demo, but I completed the demo. It's very short, and it was recommended as well in the comments. And this game, it looks so cool, so you can download the demo and play it for free on Steam. And it is like purely black and white, inspired by old first edition D&D modules, and it's got dice rolling, it's got humor, it's got cool references, and it's brutal. Like, you have characters just get wiped out, but I'm going to tell you what, in a really funny way, I had a character die jumping down a latrine trying to get a magical item, and I was like, oh well, that's too bad. But you actually end up carrying their corpse around, and I was like, why am I doing this? And then I got to a locked door, and I used their corpse as a battering ram to open the door. Now, that is not something you see in many games, and I really appreciated that detail and that sense of humor. So I'm really pumped about how the Secret of Weepstone will unfold. So I hope that you have found a new game that maybe you've never heard of before, or been inspired to play something that maybe has been in your backlog. And I'm trying to just continue this Dungeon Crawler series by showing off more games that you recommend, that I try, that I think I want to share, that I can now give my feedback on once I actually dip my toes in and play. And these games are all really fun, and I'm of course linking all of the Let's Plays in the comments so you can see some more extended gameplay, and you're going to see videos from these series continue to emerge. And if you've got more recommendations of games that you found out about recently, or that I forgot to mention in either of these videos, please put those in the comments below so we can continue creating these great repositories of dungeon crawlers for people who love games in this space and are looking for something to play. I appreciate all of your recommendations, and thank you so much for watching, everyone, and chatting about dungeon crawlers, one of my favorite genres of games of all time. I'll check you next time. Take care.